Okay, we're going to do a little video on the 45, 45, 90 property. 45, 45, 90 has the sides have a special relationship. These two sides that are adjacent to the 90 degree are going to be the same. So if we say this side is 1, the side over here is also going to be equal to 1. And the hypotenuse is going to be equal to the square root of 2. Now you might have heard the square root of 2 is equal to 1.414. If you don't have a calculator that has square root, you can always use 1.414, but know that square root of 2 is the most accurate number to multiply or divide by. Okay, let's go through some problems. Basically, if you know this relationship, then you can, if you have one side, you can figure out the other two sides. So first, let's work with the A or the B side. Let's say that we know this. Say this is the B side. We know it's 17.5 inches. Basically, the A side is also going to be 17.5 inches. And the long story of it is that what you want to do is find the factor that you're increasing this smaller triangle to a much larger triangle. So if we're going to figure out the factor, we're going to take that 17.5 and divide it by the 1, and sure enough we get 17.5. And that's what is going to be your factor. Okay, so this is your factor. Now, because we know that both the A and B are the same, I'm just going to write 17.5. But now that you have a factor, what you'll do is you'll multiply, and factor basically is the number that's being multiplied. So you're going to multiply this 17.5 times the square root of 2. And so we're just going to get out the calculator and let the calculator do the work. So 17.5 times the square root of 2. And we're going to get 24.7487. If we round to the nearest third place, it's going to be 24.749. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and convert that, to the nearest 16th. I'm thinking it's going to be 3/4, but let's see what we get. We get 11.9 or 12/16, which is reduced to 3/4. So 24 and 3/4. So we start with 17.5, and the other two sides are going to be 17.5 and 24 and 3/4. Now, before you move on to the next one, you want to make sure that the information that you calculated is reasonable. And what this basically means is that the hypotenuse is in fact the longest side, and you can see that that is the case. So let's go ahead and do a problem in which you have the hypotenuse, but we're going to go and find the A and the B side. So again, I'm going to draw a picture to represent my new problem and write in the relationship of the sides on the inside, and then the given information on the outside. And let's say that we have 23 7/8 inches for the hypotenuse, and I want to now figure out what my A and B sides are using this relationship. So again, we want to find the factor, and we do that by taking the number given and dividing by the sides relationship. So we're going to divide by the square root of 2. Okay, and let's get out the calculator. And we're left with 16.8821744. So I'm going to round to 3 places. And because this number times 1 is going to give me this number, this is my answer basically for A and B. So I'm going to go ahead and just convert this to the nearest 16th, And, you know, I'm thinking it's going to be probably, it looks close to 7/8, maybe slightly more, but let's see what we get. Minus 16 times 16, and we get 14/16, which is 7/8. So our A and B sides are going to be 16 and 7/8. Okay, and again, are these answers reasonable? Yes, the hypotenuse is the largest, and these two are the same, and they are less than the hypotenuse. So I agree that it's reasonable that these answers are what they are. Okay, that is a really quick review of 45, 45, 90. If you have questions, ask me in class.